So right, UFC 301 Pantoja versus Erceg takes place in the main event this weekend, and I'm going to be going through the entire main card, starting with the opener, ending with the main event, giving you guys my full breakdown and predictions. Going to be doing something different this time around for a UFC pay-per-view card. It isn't really the strongest per se. It isn't really bad. There are some interesting fights on the card. So if you guys are wondering who I got for the early prelims, boom, this is who I got. And if you guys are wondering who I got for the prelim cards, boom, this is who I got. Got some locks on the card, did my research. Anyways, let's waste no further time and break down UFC 301. Some honorable mentions. I personally think Joaquim Silva versus Drakkar Klose is going to be an absolute banger of a fight. I'm expecting to see a 3-round war, and in that 3-round war, I am going to be picking Drakkar Klose to get the win via close decision, 29-28. I also think Gene Silva versus William Gomis is going to be an interesting fight. I've been seeing a lot of people picking Gomis to get the win. However, I am going to be leaning towards the underdog value of Gene Silva to get the win via second round TKO. Lastly, I am interested and nervous for Elves Brener versus Myktybek Orolbai. As much as I like Brener a lot and I'll be rooting for him, ultimately, I am going to be going with Orolbai to get it done via third round submission or dominant decision, 30-27. Starting off with the opener of the main card, Paul Craig versus Caio Borralho. Conflicted is what I'm currently feeling right now. For me, it is this fight and the feature fight that I have the most conflict with. Realistically, Caio Borralho should win this fight. Stepping into this, he is coming in as a massive favorite, riding huge momentum, 5-0 in the UFC, and overall, stylistically, can beat Paul Craig wherever the fight goes. Can sub him on the ground, can even TKO him on the feet. I think this is a one-way traffic for Caio Borralho. Now, as I say all this, I could imagine and get the feeling of an upset win for Paul Craig. However, I'm not going to really base my pick on superstitions. All that being said, I am going to be going with Caio Borralho, and I think he gets it done via second round TKO. We move on to the next fight on the main card, Michel Pereira versus Ihor Potieria. All right, before I say who I think is going to win, can I just say this? Major respects and shout out to Ihor Potieria. Apparently, this is per his camp or per himself, but he is still down and open to facing off against Sharamagomedov in June after this Pereira fight. So, major respect on the hustle for Potieria, but as much as I say all that, I am going to be going with Michel Pereira to get the win via first round finish. For me, he is a confident pick, lock on the card, currently riding a 7-fight win streak and is looking like an absolute monster from making the change from welterweight to middleweight. I'll be rooting for Potieria, but realistically, I am going to be going with Michel Pereira to get the win via first round TKO. Moving on to the feature fight of the main card, Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. Getting that same conflicted feeling again. I remember when this fight first got announced, I thought it was a no-brainer pick for Petrino. I thought we were going to see Anthony Smith retire. But as we get closer to fight date, it got a bit tough to call. Personally, I don't really rate Petrino as a top contender in the light heavyweight division, and I could easily see Smith getting it done as a massive underdog and silencing the Brazilian crowd. However, Smith is getting up there in age, has faced a lot of damage throughout his years, and hasn't been looking good all too recently. Vitor Petrino is riding big momentum, undefeated, 11-0, has the home court advantage, and I do think he has the skill set and tools to put down Anthony Smith. So I am going to be going with Vitor Petrino to get the win via third round KO. Moving on to the co-main event, Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. The King of Rio finally makes his grand return after a pretty short retirement and is taking on a dangerous opponent in Jonathan Martinez. Absolutely amazing fight in the bantamweight division. I am beyond hyped for it, and let's just talk about the fight itself. Now, coming into this, Jonathan Martinez's leg kicks are going to be a big factor. I don't really think so. I personally believe the leg kicks of Jonathan Martinez won't really be a big factor in this fight, especially as some may think. We already know what Jose Aldo brings to the table. He is a certified legend that has a lot of experience, and coming into this, some have wondered, has he been inactive? No. Since his departure from the UFC, he has competed in 2 to 3 boxing matches, so he's kept himself quite active, and that's where I kind of see him beating Martinez. Martinez is pretty open on the feet, especially in the boxing department, and he has been outboxed before, and I could see someone like Jose Aldo coming back to that muscle memory of checking and throwing leg kicks. So, all that being said, I am going to be going with Jose Aldo to get the win via third round liver shot TKO and getting the win in his own hometown of Rio de Janeiro. We move on to the main event. The challenger, Steve Astro Boy Erceg, taking on the reigning, defending champion, Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja. Pretty easy and simple fight to call, in my opinion. I remember when this fight first got announced, I thought it was an easy win for Pantoja, and leading up to this fight week, I personally feel like a lot of people are overhyping Steve Erceg a bit, especially against someone like Pantoja. Now, Erceg is a damn good fighter, elite on the feet, very accurate in his striking, great Brazilian jiu-jitsu offensively and defensively, but I can't really pick a guy who is currently 3-0 in the company and taking on a guy who has been in the UFC since 2017 and has that high-level experience. Now, I was going to pick Erceg for the memes, but after doing my research, I think Pantoja gets him, man. Now, I do see Erceg doing real well in the beginning, early on. However, as the fight will go on, I do see Pantoja bullying him and frustrating him with his style, taking him down, and eventually getting the rear naked choke submission. So, I am going to be going with Alexandre Pantoja to reclaim the title and get the win via fourth round submission rear naked choke. All in all, had well to mixed results on last weekend's card. Despite getting the main event and a few picks wrong, I predicted a big underdog to win in Bogdan Guskov, and I went 3 for 3 on my locks. Overall, I went a total record of 9-4. Gonna be aiming to bounce back with this weekend's card, especially the co-main and main event. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!